Imagine this, every second sensitive information flows through the tech industry. Your name, address, credit card details, maybe even your medical records. But what if that data, your data, was exposed in a security breach? This isn't just about hackers or digital thieves. It's about the hidden impacts of data breaches on the tech industry and on you, consumer. And why should you care? Because every breach doesn't just hurt a company, it can change your privacy, your finances, and even how safe you feel online. Stay with us to the end, because we'll break down exactly how these breaches happen, the shocking numbers behind the most recent attacks, and why major tech players aren't doing enough to stop them. We'll also dive into the direct impacts on you as a user, and some practical steps you can take to protect yourself. Plus, by watching until the end, you'll understand why data security is everyone's concern, not just a corporate issue. Data breaches in the tech industry. Data breaches have become one of the most significant threats to tech companies today. But more than a threat, they've evolved into a real, recurring nightmare that affects both these companies and their users. From small startups to giants like Facebook and Google, almost no tech company has been spared from the dangers of data leaks. Each time there's a breach, it's not just a company's reputation on the line, but the privacy of millions of users. Imagine the frustration, the fear, and the sense of betrayal that come with knowing your private data is out there exposed. Yet, these events keep occurring, sometimes as frequently as every few weeks. Why does it happen so often? What are these companies doing wrong? And what are the numbers that they don't want you to know? Impact of data breaches on tech giants. Tech companies hold massive amounts of personal information, from our browsing habits to our purchase histories. When this information gets compromised, it can lead to financial losses, both for the companies and their users. For instance, did you know that in 2023 alone, the global cost of data breaches was estimated at over $4 trillion? That's an enormous financial impact that shows just how unprepared most tech companies are. The question we're left with is, if these tech giants are so vulnerable, what hope do smaller companies have? Even more troubling is that each breach leaves an irreversible mark on a company's reputation. Think about some of the biggest names in tech who, despite all their resources, were unable to keep your data safe. Each incident erodes user trust, leading to more users abandoning platforms and demanding stronger data protection measures. But what's at the root of all this? Surprisingly, it's not just hackers looking to exploit security loopholes. Sometimes it's company insiders or faulty policies that led to massive data leaks. And with each case, we're left wondering, who is really protecting our data? How data breaches happen? There are a variety of methods that attackers use to compromise a company's data. One of the most common is phishing, a technique where hackers trick employees into revealing sensitive information. But breaches can also stem from weak passwords, outdated security systems, and even deliberate sabotage from within. What's shocking is that some breaches aren't even detected for months, sometimes even years. For example, a famous tech company's breach in 2021 went undetected for nearly 6 months, exposing millions of users to potential identity theft. The failure to catch these breaches early on shows a deep flaw in many companies' security infrastructures. And here's the kicker, these breaches don't just happen randomly. Many hackers are actively targeting the tech industry because of the massive amount of personal data they hold. With each successful breach, it's clear that tech companies need to do more to protect our information. Yet, despite increased awareness, some of the most common security gaps remain open, leaving users like us at risk. The financial and personal costs of data breaches for users. For the average person, a data breach can lead to devastating financial and personal consequences. Think about the effect of just one compromised password. Your bank account, your email, your social media accounts, everything is connected. Identity theft can lead to financial ruin, reputational damage, and years of recovery time. 2022 report revealed that the average cost per user affected by a data breach was over $150. And while that might not sound like much, multiply that by the millions of users involved in each breach, and the numbers become staggering. What's more concerning is that victims of identity theft rarely regain full control of their data or finances. Once your personal information is out there, it can be used again and again by various bad actors, and it's not just about money, there's an emotional toll. Imagine the anxiety and helplessness of knowing someone could be using your identity. Unfortunately, for millions of people each year, that fear is a reality. Steps tech companies need to take to improve security. So, what should tech companies be doing? The answer is both simple and complex. Companies need stronger encryption, more rigorous employee training, and regular security audits. Some argue that the government should step in with stricter regulations, while others say the companies themselves must take responsibility. Interestingly, some of the most effective security measures are actually the simplest. For example, two-factor authentication and regular password use can prevent a surprising number of breaches. However, some companies still refuse to adopt these basics, prioritizing user convenience or profit over security. Investing in cybersecurity may be costly, but when you consider the fallout of a major breach, the cost of prevention pales in comparison to the cost of cleanup. With so much at stake, it's clear that tech companies need to step up their game. And we, as users, have the right to demand this change. What you can do to protect yourself while companies work on improving their security, there are steps you can take to protect yourself. Start with strong, unique passwords for each of your accounts. Use a password if needed. Enable two-factor authentication wherever possible. Be cautious of phishing emails or suspicious links, and regularly monitor your financial statements for unusual activity. Another critical step is to stay informed. The more you know about how breaches happen, the better prepared you'll be. Consider signing up for a credit monitoring service, especially if you've been a victim of a data breach before. Knowledge is power, and in the case of cybersecurity, it's your best defense. Why data security matters now more than ever. Data breaches are not just a corporate issue, they're a threat to each of us as individuals. As long as we share personal data online, there's a risk. And with the frequency of these breaches rising, our personal data will continue to be at risk unless tech companies and users alike take stronger measures. We've walked through the scale of data breaches, how they occur, and the real-life impacts on you and me. Now, it's up to us to hold these tech companies accountable. By pressing for better security practices and staying informed, we can all play a part in protecting our data. Remember, security starts with awareness. The more informed you are, the better protected you'll be. So if you found this breakdown insightful, consider subscribing to stay updated on the latest tech news and tips for keeping your personal information safe. Thank you for watching, and together, let's demand a more secure digital future.